Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Witness. If you may recall, last time we had got our first laser beam going, pointing it up towards that mountain over there. Well, we'll go there soon, but we still actually have a lot of stuff to find in here. First thing I want to show you really quick is just the engravings on this box. Nothing too crazy, but you can tell that it clearly looks like the puzzles that we've been solving. Just an interesting little detail. Nothing all too much I want to talk about on this. But before we do anything, I want to go back to an audio recording that we were close to listening to last time, but we didn't quite get there. So let's go to that and start learning a little bit about this place. Okay, maybe.
Formerly, you appeared to me, O Lord, as invisible by every creature because you are a hidden, infinite God. Infinity, however, is incomprehensible by every means of comprehending. Later, you appeared to me as visible by all. For a thing exists only as you see it, and it would not actually exist unless it saw you. For your vision confers being, since your vision is your essence. Thus, my God, you are equally invisible and visible. As you are invisible, as the creature is, which exists only insofar as the creature sees you, you are visible. You, therefore, my invisible God, are seen by all, and in all sight you are seen by everyone who sees. You who are invisible, who are both absolute from everything visible and infinitely super-exalted, are seen in every visible thing and in every act of vision. Therefore, I must leap across this wall of invisible vision to where you are to be found. But this wall is both everything and nothing. For you, who confront as if you were both all things and nothing at all, dwell inside that high wall which no natural ability can scale by its own power. Nicholas of Cusa, 1453.
So, definitely an interesting quote. Again, everything said in this is always pure speculation. Interpret it as you will. There's a lot of interpretations for everything in this game. But from the sounds of it, it seems like these start really working with the puzzles. So if you look, starting with these ones, these are all just blue puzzles. Absolutely nothing to do with anything on them. They don't make much rhyme or reason. You're just following them, doing your own thing, get those blue lights, and looks like it's the same either way. Then, afterwards, you start getting these yellow problems come in. And again, showing that visibility, where even though there's blue, the stuff that you can actually see, you also know that there's another side to it that you can see as well, even though you don't have direct control on it. Because even if you switch them up, it just goes to the other color. You always are blue, and yellow always just follows suit. And then followed by, last but not least, where it starts becoming more and more invisible. You know it's there. You actually have to know it's there to be able to do those type of problems. But then you can see it as it is. You only see the blue, but the yellow is there. It's still having an impact on it. And I think that's really what's representative of this whole island, is that there's two parts. Symmetry is very important in this, shockingly enough. And the blue is kind of what you can see, your analytical thinking on it. Whereas the yellow is that kind of godlike tendency. It's something that you don't have control on this, especially in this area. But you know that it's there, and it does actually infect the world that's around it. Now, we've skipped an entire part of this, and for good reason. I wanted to show you one more quote that's hiding in here, if I can find it. Here we go.
One nature, perfect and pervading, circulates in all natures. One reality, all-comprehensive, contains within itself all realities. The one moon reflects itself wherever there is a sheet of water, and all the moons in the waters are embraced within the one moon. The absolute of all the Buddhas enters into my own being, and my own being is found in union with theirs. The inner light is beyond praise and blame. Like space, it knows no boundaries. Yet it is even here, within us, ever retaining its serenity and fullness. It is only when you hunt for it that you lose it. You cannot take hold of it, but equally you cannot get rid of it. And while you can do neither, it goes on its own way. You remain silent, and it speaks. You speak, and it is dumb. The great gate of charity is wide open, with no obstacles before it. Yongcha Tashi, circa 700.
So definitely an interesting quote. Definitely deals with something that is different than just more so Christian-based religion. More so into that Buddhist religion. But it's cool that there's a whole new set of puzzles here. And these ones have absolutely no dots, no anything. But they start using the environment. And what's interesting is the color that it changes to after you complete it. It's that same green color that we were seeing in the glass house. And you can see this happening for all of these different types of puzzles. We'll do them really quick, blast through these. But what's interesting here is that this green is just showing stuff from the environment. You don't have any analytical thinking on it. You don't have anything. You're just taking in nature as it is. And interestingly, that's the ones that give you this type of color. Which, I don't think by coincidence, is also can be broken down into its component parts of blue and yellow. So instead of looking at the problem and focusing on one specific thing or analyzing it to death, you're just observing nature, and that's what's actually getting you the answers on it. That's what gets you this green. As soon as you start thinking about the problem, as soon as you start analyzing it, interpreting it, everything else, then those colors change. You can't actually get that green back. You're broken down into that blue. And then if you think, you can also see that yellow. And this is the type of thought process that I believe really goes into this game. Is that there's different levels of thinking on it. These are represented by different colors. These are represented by the way that the world's built, the architecture that they're using, the environment that they're using. All of these things actually do have a play into what the type of puzzles are, into the color of the lines of the puzzles, all of these type of things. And it's very, very in-depth into it. But what's really cool is that first you start off by observing, just in the glass house, you're observing things. There's nothing crazy, there's no dots, there's no lines, there's no anything. And it keeps on going green all the way down. The first time you actually lose the green is right here. So this is your last puzzle with green, and it starts using dots. This is actually the only green puzzle in this area that uses any dots whatsoever. And from then on, it splits into its constituent colors until you go around the edges and start observing the scenery again. It actually does no practical purpose going through those green lines at the end that we just did. There's nothing that actually happens from it. It's only those blue and yellow ones that actually get you anything. You can see it switches to blue here. And the last part, before you actually get your line, before you get to your mission, per se, of the game, the whole thing breaks down entirely. All of these panels have been glass panels, but now they're hidden by metal. You can actually see that those constituent colors are completely taken up. A really cool thing is these yellow ones, even though they're needed to actually find the solution because of the dots that are on them, they actually aren't required to get this. You can actually, if you've already seen the puzzle before or just have pictures of it, you can just follow the blue ones, activate this line. The yellow actually isn't needed. It's just there as the underlying rules. Stuff that you can see if you look hard, but you don't have to see it for it to be able to work. And that, in a nutshell, is the basis for Symmetry Island. So definitely one concept of thinking, it's showing that dichotomy between analytical thinking, between religious thinking, and also between Buddhist type, more so Zen thinking. The last thing we're gonna show today, because I know you guys like seeing some cool stuff, is this little harpy here. We're gonna see her a little bit more, but you can see her from behind. You can see her also from the glass house, but you can get a really cool effect with her if you walk around this way. We'll see an even cooler version of this a little bit later in the game. But you can walk around and you can actually get it. If I can get my angles right here, maybe. There's a chance, Not a good chance, but we'll see what we can do. And you can actually see that her hair continues to flow from the one rock to the other right there. Some pretty cool stuff. So that is Symmetry Island. I would love to hear what you guys think of it. I would love to hear some of your interpretations of what you think's going on with this area. If you think this is all just pure coincidence, or if you do actually believe that all of these things were fully thought out, I'd love to hear your opinions. If you like the video, please leave a like. It's a huge help. Or subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, we're going to be doing these videos. We'll probably be doing these, not seeing them, probably about once a week or so. It does take a little bit more time for me running around these areas, really observing these things to be able to check it out. But definitely follow up if you like. Have a great one, you guys. Hope you have a great day. And see you next time on another episode of The Witness.